Okay, so this video is going to explain what is RPE or what RPE is. An RPE just stands for rate of perceived exertion. This is a scale used to determine how difficult a set was of a given exercise. 1, as you can see on the diagram on the right, is very light activity or very easy, and 10 is kind of the most difficult set you could do with that weight, or the max effort activity. So most sets in the gym want to be around at least about a 7 out of 10, and occasionally it's worthwhile pushing to an RPE of 10, where you can't do any more reps with that weight. This would be something like a 1 rep max, or like an all-out rep max set, like a 5 rep max, 3 rep max, something like that, and where you can't do any more reps with that weight. It would also fall into the category of training to failure, would be an RPE 10 set as well. In the times when you push to an RPE 10, it gives you a better idea of how hard your training is and was, and then using the RPE scale in general can just determine how difficult your training is and how effective it is as well. As I say, you want to be at least 7, maybe pushing towards the 9 in some occasions. So an example using the RPE scale would be, if I can do 10 reps with 100 kilograms on the deadlift, but no more, this would be an RPE 10 set. I would then be able to use this information to do work at an RPE 8, where I would only do 8 reps with this weight. Again, if you do the 8 reps, you can then think about it after the set, where you think, what was the RPE of that? How difficult was that out of 10? In theory, it should be an 8, but depending on the day, the time of day, and kind of what you've done leading up to that exercise, it could be a bit higher. So you might be typically able to do 8 reps, and that would be in theory be an RPE 8. But if you're sleep deprived, if you're tired, if you've trained a similar movement the day before, you might be struggling a little bit more, you might be more tired, you might be a little bit weaker, and that might make that more like an RPE 9 set. It could be the opposite. As you progress, it might become an RPE 7 set, where it's a little bit easier, and then that would be an indication that you can probably increase the weight or increase the reps. Another example would be if you can manage 8 reps with 20 kilograms on the dumbbell bench press. That would be somewhere between 4 and 6 reps would be classed as an RPE 7 to 8. So that would be a max rep set of 8 reps with the 20 kilogram dumbbells. Between 4 and 6 would be an RPE 7 to 8. So that could be something to use going forward to kind of gauge how difficult your training should be week by week. This might not always be consistent though, as mentioned in that first example where I talked about kind of being tired on different days, and kind of as you progress, it might get a bit easier as well. So the true value of RPE is that what I've just talked about. It gives you an accurate measure of how hard your training is in that given session. Instead of just picking a weight and say you must do 10 reps, you can adjust what you do in each session. So if we said you were going to try and do 100 kilograms for 10 reps, using that previous example, but that was usually kind of something all right for you to do, but on the day it feels really, really difficult. It might be something to adjust, where you might just do a few less reps, or you might do a little bit less weight but do the same number of reps, depending on how you feel. This means you can train smarter, and you don't have to push your body too hard on days when it doesn't want to push that hard. If you do push too hard on those days, it could at worst lead to an injury, or it could just lead you feeling more fatigued, more tired, and then in later sessions in the week be really affected and diminish kind of the effectiveness of those as well, and affect kind of your day-to-day life as well, through things like muscle soreness and just fatigue in general, where you might not be able to concentrate at work, or you are just in a bit of discomfort and a bit of pain beyond kind of what's tolerable. But the value of RPE means you can still work as hard as required on that day to make your training worthwhile. If RPE 8 on one day is less reps or less weight than RPE 8 on another day, and you're still matching that is still going to be effective training. It's still going to be worthwhile. It's still going to give you benefit. If you drop it way down, it's kind of RPE 5 or 6, maybe 5 probably, then that's where we might be thinking, come on, we can try and push a little bit harder to get more out of this session, because you don't want to go to the gym and kind of just waste time. Essentially, you don't want to go in, make everything really easy, and then kind of not actually get any benefit. You want to make it as worthwhile as possible, so you're not wasting your time.